In that Jurassic era filled with the roaring of colossal beasts and the violent trembling of the earth, there was a tranquil corner exceptionally favored by time. While monsters dozens of meters long fought for territory in the dense forests, a small and fragile life found the most buoyant way to exist beside the wetlands. Tonight, beside the softly flickering hearth, let us step into its true life along with this story that requires no effort to remember. This dinosaur was Tianchisaurus, a small ankylosaur living on the edges of clear lakes and marshes. In the common stereotype of many, armor-clad ankylosaurs were destined only to pace heavily across the hard land, stubbornly defending their final lines with tail clubs and osteoderms. Yet Tianchisaurus became an incredible paradox. It transformed its seemingly heavy, even cumbersome bony armor into a most secure little boat. When it felt exhausted or when danger drew near, it would not lock its body tightly into the soil like its relatives. Instead, it chose to walk gently toward that mirror-flat water. It would tuck its limbs slightly against its sides, allowing its armor, buoyed by its unique, hollow, air-chambered structure, to float steadily in the center of the clear lake. Faint ripples swayed lazily in the darkness, bringing it a cradle-like sensation reminiscent of a mother's embrace, instantly driving away all surrounding noise. However, before this gentle creature could enjoy such ultimate relaxation, it too had to endure countless trials of pressure from the earth and brutal twists of fate. On the early Jurassic wilderness, the climate fluctuated far more violently than we imagine, and the once continuous forests began to fracture under frequent tectonic movements. Tianchisaurus and its herd originally searched for low-growing ferns among the woodland trees for food, but their size appeared far too insignificant before the newly emerging predators. Its limbs were not suited for swift, long-distance sprinting, and whenever an agile carnivorous dinosaur peered greedily from the brush, Tianchisaurus could only rely on instinct to curl up. Though its hard osteoderms could block sharp teeth and claws, they could not withstand the violent trampling and crushing weight brought by the sheer size of those massive beasts. Every conflict on land was an absolute torment to the nerves of Tianchisaurus. It had to bury its body deeply within the scorching sand in absolute terror. Across countless trembling days, its psychological state began to undergo a subtle shift, and it started to resist the rigid, uncertain surface of the land. The rift of fate occurred on a pouring afternoon when a flash flood swept down the dried riverbeds, flushing many small creatures unable to escape into the vast lake. Tianchisaurus was also dragged into the murky vortex. Just when it believed its heavy armor would drag it to the bottom, bringing the most unsettling end, a miracle quietly happened. It discovered with surprise that as long as it maintained its balance and refrained from frantic struggling, its broad, flat, and hollow-chambered armor would naturally buoyant up. In that moment, the chilly water did not become its grave. Instead, it acted like a pair of vast, gentle hands, lifting it softly out of the endless, brutal competition of the land. This accidental immersion became the most crucial turning point in the life of Tianchisaurus, and it thoroughly learned how to coexist peacefully with this once unfamiliar water. It began to spend vast amounts of time strolling along the lake shores, its psychology gradually transforming from a fear of water into a deep attachment. It discovered that as long as it retreated to where the water reached its waist, those predators that were lightning fast and tyrannical on land would stop at the muddy shore, deterred. In this process, the tension in the relationship between Tianchisaurus and the surrounding world underwent a wondrous reversal. It was no longer the bottom-tier underdog shivering in the forest. At the water's edge, it built a psychological defense that no terrestrial monster could ever breach. Yet, having grown accustomed to a life on the water, Tianchisaurus also had to face the hidden costs of this new environment. The depths of the lake were not absolutely safe. Occasionally, massive ancient aquatic reptiles cruised through the dark, deep waters, searching for prey that had fallen in. Therefore, Tianchisaurus learned to float only in the steady, clear shallow zones and the tranquil inlets along the lake, never easily venturing into those bottomless, icy abysses. With astonishing patience, it observed the daily rhythms of the currents, where the ripples were gentlest, and which bay streams could keep it from drifting too far when it closed its eyes. This ultimate exploration of its surroundings allowed it to evolve a near-philosophical restraint beneath its heavy armor. It took only the tranquility it needed, never coveting a drop more. As the last golden glow of the sunset faded slowly along the horizon, the distant forests began to be swallowed by a thick twilight. Having eaten its fill of the tender, moisture-rich water weeds along the shore, Tianchisaurus stepped with light, slow paces, once again wading inch by inch into its beloved, silent lake. The water bathed its rough skin, washing away the heat and exhaustion accumulated from a full day of walking on land. It gently paddled its short limbs, and when the depth was sufficient to lift its 90-odd kilogram weight, it closed its limbs with practiced ease, letting its entire body enter a state of complete flotation. Those neatly arranged osteoderms, carrying the ancient texture of time, now resembled a meticulously crafted ancient dugout canoe, steadily carrying the entirety of its life. As a gentle breeze brushed across the water, fine, visible ripples rippled outward around its thick shell upon the mirror-flat lake. Tianchisaurus raised its short, delicate head slightly, its clear and stoic eyes watching the sky transform from a warm orange-red into a deep indigo. It did not need to remain constantly vigilant in the dead of night like other dinosaurs, nor did it need to scurry about looking for a safe tree hollow. In this calm expanse of water that belonged entirely to it, all dangers were barred outside by the gentle water. It lived solely within the soft, swaying cadence of the ripples. That cadence was so constant and soothing, carrying an intangible power that began to smooth away the most hidden creases of its soul. Night fell completely, and the star-filled sky, like countless delicate diamonds, reflected clearly on the clear lake surface without a single ripple. At this moment, Tianchisaurus was like floating in the center of a vast blanket woven from the starlight, its eyes, written with absolute peace, already completely closed. Along with the faint water motion, its thick frame swayed lazily left and right on the surface, each movement so minute it was almost imperceptible. This frequency possessed a wondrous, ultimate relaxation akin to an ancient cradle, capable of making any creature listening to its story let down all defenses unconsciously. On this silent night, it uttered no high-pitched cries. There was only the occasional long breath escaping from its nasal passages due to its extreme state of relaxation. Those small ancient birds and insects resting in the reed beds nearby seemed inspired by this peaceful aura, ceasing all their noise. The entire world became exceptionally restrained and gentle in this instant. There was no blood of the hunt, no anxiety of survival, only a small boat drifting slowly under the starlight. The inner world of Tianchisaurus reached a perfect fullness at this point. It achieved the most thorough reconciliation with this world by using its clumsiest body upon the lightest water surface. The moonlight refracted a cool, soft glow between the cracks of its back osteoderms, silhouetting it like an ancient miracle that had slept in the wetlands for hundreds of millions of years. It no longer needed to think about what tomorrow's land would become. Right now, this mirror-flat water was its eternal harbor. Under the gentle caress of the ripples, Tianchisaurus finally fell into the deepest, most carefree ancient dreamland. In the vast history of paleontology, its life might only be a minor interlude. It did not leave behind massive skeletons capable of shaking the earth. Yet, through its unique logic of life, it answered the most captivating riddle of existence, concerning survival, armor, and letting go. What it left to this world was not the white bones of plunder, but that faint ripple that forever maintained its steady, lazy sway in the deep of the night. When we find ourselves suffocated by daily pressure and clamorous trivialities in the long night, feeling our bodies as heavy as an unremovable suit of armor, we might as well gently sketch the image of Tianchisaurus in our minds. Go look at that ancient lake, flat as a mirror beneath the starlight. Try to relax your tense limbs just like Tianchisaurus, completely yield your entire body to the soft and warm bed beneath you. Allow the tide of your thoughts to drift lazily like faint water ripples, carrying you toward that sheltered harbor free from any disturbance. The night is very deep now, the breeze along the shore has carried away all the heat of the day, and the world is falling asleep in the darkness in the gentlest way possible. May you, within the ultimate cradle-like relaxation of Tianchisaurus and accompanied by the silent ripples of the ancient lake, peacefully enter a deep dreamland filled only with tranquility and devoid of clamor.